This is the Veterans Day Live. We have, and if you want to call, it's 323-473-3100. And I'll take it and let the ladies go. Go ahead.
Hello, ladies. Thank you for coming out to our Veterans Day Live Women Empowerment segment. And we have to our right, Elena, and we have Melynda Douglas.
Hi.
And Elena, tell us all about you.
Well, my husband is a veteran, and back in 2004, 2005, he deployed with the Marine Corps. And his deployment absolutely caught me off guard. I was totally blindsided by what that experience was like, and was surprised by that. You know, I felt that I should know what that, you think they're at war and I'm at home, and what's my problem,
Right.
But what I realized was that there was nothing out in the public media that really showed what it was like to be a military family during wartime. And I had been a news producer and a documentary producer on television, and felt that I had the skills to be able to tell the story of military families. And I felt very, very strongly, and still do, that it is important to tell the story of what it's like to be a military family during wartime, and what it takes to recover from that, and also what it takes to transition out of the military, and what all that entails. And to this day, I still really haven't seen a realistic depiction of what that's like, so I'm really glad to have the documentary finally done.
Great.
People can find that at militaryfamilydocumentary.com, but I'm very excited to be able to share that now. I interviewed nearly 100 families for the documentary.
Wow.
Because I really wanted it to be truly a well-rounded look and perspective into what it's like to be a military family during wartime.
All right, good. So can you tell us a little snippet about the documentary?
Sure. I followed 2 wives before, during, and after their husband's deployment, and also one of the families as they were getting out of the Marine Corps. And it was really remarkable, the things that I didn't know that I discovered in the course of making the film. For example, I didn't know that, families suffer from PTSD, and that if you happen to have your partner deployed at any point of your pregnancy, that you're more than twice as likely to suffer from postpartum depression. And the most urgent thing that I discovered in doing the film is that the suicidal ideation amongst spouses and caregivers and families is increasing, and nobody is talking about this. There's nobody that's tracking the rate of suicide amongst family members. There are anecdotes that you hear occasionally in the news, but no one's actually tracking the statistics. And these are all things that are preventable, in the sense of you can deal with depression. You can nip things in the bud before they get to the point of anybody thinking about suicide. So for me, it's important to have, a conversation and a dialogue and an awareness, so that people can get help before it becomes, such a dire situation.
Okay. I have a friend who fiance has PTSD, and she hasn't seen him for in a month, and now she's going through the same thing. She's extremely depressed, and she's like, what do I do? I'm like, I don't know how to help her. I don't even know a route outreach that she could even take. So with you saying that, I definitely would like to some way connect you to my friend, so you can have some way to outreach to her. We're going to take a quick break and come back with another guest, and also finish talking to Elena as well as Melynda. Welcome back, everybody. We're going to continue with our guest. Elena, can you continue telling us all about you, about your project, and also we have a special clip we're going to show of your documentary as well.
Well, in part, in terms of the idea of empowering women, I feel that we've been at war for centuries, and yet the story of women, both as spouses, both as parents, has really not been told. So for me, it is important to celebrate and acknowledge all of the sacrifices that women have made for all of us to be free and living in the country that we do now. And I also feel that those women and the families need to be supported. And if we don't know what their stories are like, and we can't empathize, because there are people that still believe that being a military family is equivalent of having someone away on a business trip that's
Right.
long, and that's not the case at all. And so for me, it is really important to encourage, both through watching the documentary and sharing your own stories as a military family and as women in military families, what that is like, and so that people that would like to support military families actually know where to begin.
Because the military women never get a chance to tell their story. Right. They don't have a voice. They don't have an outlet. They never tell their story. For you to do a documentary of this sort would be really phenomenal. Are you ready for the clip now?
Yes, we will.
Okay.
Over 2 million troops have been deployed to Iraq and Afghanistan. Over 2 million families left waiting. story of two of those families.
I was very scared about him having to deploy.
Hey, boys. See you when I get back, okay?
Okay, Daddy's got to go.
Stay strong. Don't let anybody else get to you now.
I told him, just know that I'm here for you, just trying to be strong for you. Tell me where you're sitting. I love you. Hold my hand. Shake my hand.
Love you guys.
Oh, Daddy, bye. So I'll see you. Love you too.
After the goodbyes, the struggle begins.
He woke up 4 times crying, and he would remember Daddy's gone, and he would ask me, "Where's Daddy?"
I have not heard from him. I'm always nervous. I hope to hear from him soon, make sure that everything's okay.
My brain just went into overload. I just wanted it to just go away, just stop. And I started thinking horrible thoughts, like hurting my children and hurting myself.
Whoop, got a little bit of mommy in there.
I just kept asking him, will I be normal again?
This is the journey to healing of America's courageous military families.
So what was remarkable to me is just how generous everybody was in telling their stories, and that the women in this film truly let me into their hearts, into their homes. And you can really see in the film the courage, sacrifice, and love that it takes to be a military spouse, to be a military parent.
Yes.
So I'm just so grateful that they allowed me in so that everybody could benefit from their experience.
Wow, the clip is phenomenal. It's phenomenal. They
Thank you.
definitely have a voice. They have an outlook where other military women can oh my God, someone actually listened to us. Someone actually film what we're going through. So
Right.
that's definitely what's a blessing. How are you empowered?
If you feel very strongly about something and you feel a sense of mission, go out and do it. Don't let any obstacles come in your way. You need to start living your life now. And in the course of the journey, it doesn't mean that it's always going to be easy,
Right.
but that doesn't mean that you're on the wrong path. To keep going forward and know that it's going to be the most rewarding thing that you do.
Thank you. Nice words. We have Melynda Douglas, whose father is also a vet, and also she's a celebrity photographer, shooting star photography. Tell us all about you and your as being a child of a vet.
Well, I was born in Germany, Nuremberg, Germany. My dad was in the Army at the time. The documentary she did is phenomenal.
It really is.
I'm always
you.
crying over it. And
Thank you.
I mean, it was amazing to see, and I can't imagine being in that position where women are home by themselves.
It hasn't been done before, so
Right.
for you to come out the box and do that, it's phenomenal.
Exactly.
You definitely have to push
And the
it
live
much
footage
more.
of it, right?
Yes.
It's to capture that. Like I said, I couldn't imagine these women are at home by themselves, not knowing, what could happen.
So, Elena, tell us what's the next step for your documentary?
So right now, my mission is to get the word out about the film. I didn't mention the name of the film. It's called While Time Stands Still.
Okay.
And also to get families, spouses, parents, siblings sharing their stories. And so it would be great, anybody that would like to do that on the Facebook page, which is Facebook and then While Time Stands Still.
Okay.
Because in part, the important thing is to create a dialogue and to let people know what's going on in terms of what military families go through during war. And then if anybody wants information about the film, they can find that at militaryfamilydocumentary.com. So really it is right now about letting people know that the film exists.
Spreading the word, please.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because on some level, families don't even recognize the trauma that they've been through, and you can't, in a way, heal a wound that you don't know exists. And you try very much sometimes to sweep it under the rug and move on, but that's the kind of poison that seeps into your life, and you don't even know where it came from. So if you know it's there, you can sort of tend to it and take care of it and be able to move forward in a healthier way.
So what made you wanting to do something like this to help other wives, girlfriends, and that kind of stuff?
Well, after I went through the experience of having my now husband deployed, I felt like I had a really hard time, and we didn't have kids. I felt that other people were in a much more difficult situation than I was, and we were very fortunate that he came back safe and healthy, and I wanted to be of service to the people that weren't so lucky. And having been a television producer and documentary filmmaker, I felt that what I could do is to be of service doing what I do, so that I could help, celebrate and validate the experience of other people that had had this experience of going through the traumatic, the trauma of having a loved one, go to war, and what that's like to make it through, and what it's like to have to put the pieces together afterwards, because just because they're home, that doesn't mean it's over.
Exactly. So is there anything that you can tell people, the ladies who are maybe going through that, if you want to, how you cope with that, him being away? Even now, you say he's deployed over there now?
No, he's back now. He's actually out of the Marine Corps now.
Okay.
Yes.
But is there anything you like to say to those young wives, girlfriends, and so on and so forth that are experiencing that vacancy?
Absolutely. I mean, what I want to say is that your experience is very true and valid. It's not all in your head. That when you're in a position to be under such extreme stress and to be fearing for the life of the person that you love, and not knowing, that each moment could bring the worst news of your life, that causes it causes extreme duress on you, physically, emotionally, psychologically, and to take care of yourself, which is very easy to say. And the thing is that, like I said, when they come back, that doesn't mean that it's over. So don't expect, like I did, that when she comes home, that you're just going to cry on their shoulder and that everything's going to be fine. And I don't mean just for them, which obviously we need to make sure that the service member is okay, but even for you. And a lot of times the spouse, especially if they have children, they don't have time to take care of themselves because they're too busy holding up, the fort, taking care of the kids. And and people feel that if they take a moment for themselves, that they're going to crumble, and then their whole family infrastructure is going to fall apart. But what I would like to say to those people is that if you don't take care of yourself, it may not be today, but tomorrow or the next day, it's going to be far worse.
Right.
Well, ladies, can you let our public know how they can reach you and follow you, Instagram, your social media?
So you can go to militaryfamilydocumentary.com to get a copy of the film, and please come and share your story on Facebook, and there you will find it by the title of the film, which is While Time Stands Still.
Please support. It's great. The snippet was phenomenal.
Thank you.
Thank you. Wave. Do the Miss America wave. We're out of here.
Thanks for support, and thanks for tuning in.
All right. Take care, everybody.